Hi guys, I am back with another replay between two Masters Protoss players. In the lower left-hand corner, spawning as our red toss, it looks like his name is KiFiRe. KiFiRe, I don't know. From now on, I will just call him Fire, assuming it is a him. Yes, in the lower left-hand corner. And of course, in the upper right-hand corner, everybody's favorite North American Protoss, it's none other than Tydrokos. Of course, when I say favorite, I mean within eXeA, of course. And the map we're on today is actually Neoplanet S. And the reason why I'm casting this is because I'm casting this first. Don't get me wrong, I play Zerg. But one of the things that I find my favorite aspect of PvP is the new meta. It actually seems quite interesting, and it no longer depends on who has superior Colossus count. But I'm sorry, I've been giving you guys a long gaze at the natural here. One thing I want to point out is that this is kind of it's kind of easy to defend the natural here, but you have to be very careful on how you do it. You have to kind of trick your opponent into moving in. Your force fields have to be excellent. The third here is rather exposed. Like a Protoss army could come in here, attack from the north, maybe attack from here. This would actually be a much better position because it's much more wide open. And if you're at the natural with your main army, then you're actually in a heap of trouble because you're going to have to swing all the way around this to get to your third. This one, as a third, I think for Protoss would actually be difficult to engage. Terrans, of course, are a different story, and Zergs maybe just slightly because of lane run bys. Terrans would actually be able to stem up and move in and snipe anything in there really quickly. But so far, we have a double gas going down for KiFiRe before the cybernetic score, and it looks like they went down at roughly the same time. Almost. This can lead into basically extremely early tech ups. That's all I'm going to say right now, because it's so difficult to predict how a PvP will turn out, especially when Tydro is one of the players. And of course, there we go. Second gas before the Nexus for Tydros. That second gas is actually a teeny bit later. I think the reason why he did this was to get more mineral income out of it. Certainly not opposed to this, and he's got 3 workers on the south one, 3 workers on the north one. I'm trying to figure out just what he's trying to do. I'm looking at the mineral income right now, and I really want to examine this with both eyes wide open. He is floating less gas than his Protoss opponent right now. I'm wondering if maybe this is a mistake. No, I don't think so. I like the position of the Cybernetics core. This is actually quite defensive. In case your opponent actually decides to do, say, a double proxy gate, it kind of makes a sim city for these zealots to walk around, and they don't get a full surround on the pylons, but of course it could also work against yourself in some situations if you're not careful. Neither player opting to crank out a zealot first, but there's a proxy pylon going down here for fire. Oh, as well as a Stargate. The question is just what unit are we going to see come out of that first, and we have a Twilight Council going down for Tydrokos. What I do know is that in the last 2 games that I've casted of him playing PvP, he actually chose to get an early Dark Shrine out ASAP, and of course he's kind of decorating himself with the new pylon skin. Alright, now the Stargate is about 10 seconds away from finishing up, and I want to know what exactly is going down here. If Tydro is sending... he's caught onto it. He knew something was up. He was like, wait a minute, there's just no infrastructure in the main. What do I do? And the first unit being cranked out is actually an Oracle, and Tydro is actually rallying his second stalker to this his third stalker to this pylon. He actually wants to get it unpowered ASAP, and it looks like it will go down about 6 seconds before that Oracle gets out. And now we see Fire is actually significantly far behind after all of this. Don't know how he's going to follow this up. Looks like he's tacking on 2 more gateways, and this is just not going to pan out for him all that well. We do have Tydro putting down a proxy pylon right here. By the way, another thing that I like casting mirror matches about is the fact that it kind of eliminates bias if you play a certain race, especially when the race that I am playing right now has almost nothing to do with what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, Zerg. I'm a Zerg player. Alright, but it looks like the Mothership Core forced to mass recall. excuse me, Nexus Recall, Mass Recall. What is this ability called? Yes, Mass Recall. So now we have 3 gate for Fire, basically forced to hold off against some what looks to be DT harassment that's going to come in, and I don't see an answer for this coming out. There isn't. Like, there's he's resumed the pylon on the Stargate, but of course it's going to be forced to pull back defensively ASAP. I love this new kind of meta. It looks like every time Tydro encounters this kind of play, he's like, okay, well, I got a solution to that, and here's what it is. DTs. Very simple, because if any Protoss wants to live after all of that, they are automatically forced to pull back their harassment unit to deal with the DTs. And so far, we actually have a substantial deal of damage going down for Tydrokos on the main of his opponent, and it looks like... Wait a minute, what exactly happened here? Oh no, all the probes are stuck at the ramp here, they can't mine anything. They're actually in a heap of trouble, and this is the all-in that we have from KiFiRe. He's got to try and use all 4 of his Stalkers excruciatingly well. And the Nexus looks like it's going to fall inevitably for KiFiRe, but of course all the tech is being targeted down first. Tydro is actually losing a lot of probes here. He actually lost his Oracle, so now he has no detection, and these Stalkers are actually on borrowed time. They do kind of outspeed a DT, I think. Just give it a minute, and now the probes are actually coming in to trap it, and we see Fire in just as much trouble as Tydro is. Infrastructure being dealt with quite cruelly for KiFiRe, and the probes are now being pulled. This is one of the craziest games I've casted in a while between 2 Protosses, guys. Oh man, and a Void Ray is now out on the map. The question is, how is Tydro going to hold his ground against this? Void Rays do have prismatic alignment, and these gateways are not unpowered just yet. But the question is, how will Tydro be able to hold against this? He's got a Stalker and a Sentry. A Sentry should be able to help in the fight, but I just don't think he's got enough. Even if he had enough income, he wouldn't have a powered gateway to do that with. And it's just a matter of time until Fire is actually exposed as, what's the word I'm looking for? Being revealed. There it is. Game's been figured out. The pylons are now back in construction, and it looks like this is just, wow, this is one of the craziest games I've ever seen. Fire is not entirely oblivious to the natural expansion for Tydrokos, but it looks like he's not actually going to mine. He's going to go out and straight up try to kill his opponent. Yes, the DT. This is basically turning into a base race right now, guys. And there it is, the GG from Fire. Fire has been defeated and left the game. So if you guys liked what you saw here, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.